so her business name is Creation Movement, right? And obviously she's on a massive self-love journey, and I just loved her energy, and I know for a fact she's going to bring something awesome to share with us today. So yay, thank you so much.
I felt like my whole life was being taken over by work at 200 pounds. And I mean, I'm kind of a short gal. I'm not like super tall. And so I was like, you know what? I just need a change. I need to make a change. I need to do something dramatic. And I started going to the gym. I started working out and just learning more about like who I was and what made me feel good, and what was the thing that drove me to like not wanting to go to the gym before and not wanting to do all this stuff. So it plays more even into your self-consciousness when you go shopping, because you're just already like have that anxiety, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go in and look for all these clothes that I hate to wear and they're not gonna fit, and then if I put them on and I look at myself, I'm just gonna feel terrible because I don't like the way that they fit me. I had lost the 70 pounds, and I just realized going through that journey how much there was about the fitness industry that just totally took me off course. It made me feel so terrible about like my body and the way I looked, and that like if I wasn't a size 2 and I didn't have, if I couldn't fit into this, or if I didn't look like these supermodels, that I wasn't like actually doing it, that I wasn't actually healthy. No matter what, that love that you have for yourself is what gets you through to the next level. And it's not once you get to that next level you love yourself, it's just loving yourself at every single step. And I think that's why I connected with Brandine's message so much as well, is because she always puts in like all these lovely, lovely tips about like just loving yourself and feeling good and putting out amazing vibrations to the world, and those vibrations kind of come back to you.
I like that you say in this present moment. Can you give us some tips about that? Like what, because the mind chatter, like we were talking about it in this group too, like what's your trigger, and then what does your mind chatter start running away with? You know what I mean? So yeah. How do you catch yourself when those thought processes start coming up?
And I think that the first thing you have to do is realize that you're not doing anything, you're just thinking. And that's the first thing. And when I get really, really stressed out, really, really freaked out, I just remind myself of like 3 simple things. I was like, 1, in this present moment, I am sitting here, I have a roof over my head, and I'm like wearing clothes. I'm warm and I'm safe. 2, I'm like breathing. There is air around me and I've got breath in my lungs and I'm alive, right? And 3, I am more loved than I even know, which is not only by others in my circle. I don't care who you are, somebody out there loves. Like, you know what? All these things that I'm scared about haven't even happened. And if they are happening, I need to get out of this stuck feeling so that I can actually take care of it. Because if I'm stuck and I'm petrified, there's no way I can overcome anything. I'm just going to keep thinking, and the problem's only going to get worse and worse and worse, just like how it was with weight loss. I kept thinking about how I felt terrible about it instead of how I had so much opportunity to change it that I didn't change it for years.
There's a saying by Osho that says, how you do one thing in life is how you do everything in life.
Mm-hmm.
How did you see your transformation with the weight loss affect, or what did you learn? Did something come up with that, with other areas of your life?
So it gives you confidence to not only do more for yourself, but take that leap in other areas and aspects of your life, because you're like, I'm strong, man. Like I went to the gym and I kicked butt, and I can do that in every other aspect. So it gives you such amazing confidence and determination to do whatever you need to do, and just stay consistent and understanding those little things.
How did you bring spirituality into it? Because I know when we were talking, you were like, I'm got that spiritual and the body love, confidence, and all that.
So this, I think you're going to find super interesting, because I know you're a spiritual medium also, so you can read. So my history within that world goes far beyond my life. My grandmother was actually a spiritual reader as well. She'd go to houses and clear houses of like evil spirits, whatever it may be. And so she passed that on to my mom. And so my mom used to have this gift of like being able to pick up all stuff, but it scared her to death. So she like pushed it away. But my sister, myself, and my half brother that was like long lost that I found much later in life all have like this really weird spiritual kind of gift where we're like very clairvoyant. We understand like different spirits. We can kind of hear or see into that world, but it also allows me into an understanding and empathy, and just being able to really connect to somebody's true soul. Like when you clear out your spirit and like maybe past spirits and your family and the pressures that your mother put on you, your pressures that your father put on you, you take all of those things away. It's like more of a spiritual journey than ever it could have been just physical.
I'm friends with somebody that's local here, and she's like a fitness person and stuff. And I think something that's interesting, and everybody like that's live here or watching the replay, I remember how you do one thing is how you do everything in life. So this is something she told me, and it really blew my mind because she was really big into the law of attraction. That's why we're like buddies. And she has some sort of boot camp thing, and she told me that she had a couple ladies come in, and they ate the same food, they did the same exercise, they did the everything, and it was through this process or whatever. And one lady, her body shrunk, not necessarily losing the weight, but her body shrunk way more than another lady. And she said, and I know why, because the one lady was always complaining about her body, and the other lady was more open.
Yeah.
So do you find that to be true in your realm, is how we think about our bodies?
True, 100%. It's like what you think is what you are kind of thing. So like I said before in the beginning, I didn't lose weight for like a year after I first started trying. And I know why. And it's because I didn't think I could. I was doing so much, like eating differently, working out every single day, but I didn't think I could. I didn't think I could lose weight. I didn't think I could keep it off. And so you put that into your mind, and not only does it have like the spiritual effect, but it is backed up by science, by stress weight, by allowing these hormones, cortisol, all of these things that go into your body. They're being triggered when you're stressed and you're feeling crappy about yourself. You trigger these things that will keep fat on. Because what happened when we were stressed back in the day, like when we had to fend for our food? We were stressed because we didn't have enough food. So what did our bodies do to stress? They kept weight because we needed it just in case we didn't have anything to eat. Same relation goes on to now. We don't know the difference between if we're sad and stressed because work sucks and we're nervous versus we don't have any more food the next month. So our bodies relate all of those things, the negativity, the stress, the worry, to situations that might make us need to be heavier. So yeah, I 100% agree that it is not only backed up by a mental standpoint that like what we preach and what we feel like comes right back to us, but on a scientific state, you can prove it as well.
So what tips do you have to resolve that?
What tips do you have? So I think that the best tip is to listen to daily affirmation stuff that just allows you to kind of get out of your own track if you can't even say it yourself. Because the more you live in that state, the more it'll come towards you, just like the law of attraction. So just really, really putting yourself there. And, I know that when I first started going to the gym, it was so hard because I would look around and I'd be like, all these people are doing so much better than I am. I felt like they were doing so much better. So it's hard to like not think of myself as like the shy girl that had no idea what she was doing. I had to really be like, you know what? No, I am like a powerful individual and I'm coming here and I'm empowered. I'm going to do what I need to do and I'm doing much better than I even know I am.
So it just leads me right back to everything that I always say. Life is a mind game.
It's really funny that this conversation has started because at the beginning of the year, I got that cookbook called Whole30.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister-in-law had done it right before the holidays, and she lost 26 pounds. And I still can't figure out where 26 pounds was on her. But I've actually, because I've cut out all bread and rice and dairy, I've actually lost 6 pounds.
Ooh.
I don't necessarily see it on my body,
mm-hmm.
but I feel it in my body.
Mm-hmm.
And that's more important to me than anything. I'm going to be 55 in March.
Yeah.
And getting that, I feel it. My knees are lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way I can explain it. My knees are lighter. And I didn't do it today, but I usually get my one girlfriend on Facebook and I'm like, it's 4:30. It's time to make friends with the elliptical again. So I think I'm on the right track with that. I've never really been like super body conscious in a way,
Mm-hmm.
but more, and I realized I've been more of an internal body feeling
Mm-hmm.
that when my bones feel heavy, did you ever have like, you know, where your actual bones felt heavy and you just felt heavy?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was harder to move your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think that feeling, like I can compare it to where I was before to now is like tremendously different, because I think that's the hardest part, like you said, is like when you're heavier, you feel literally heavy. Like you feel like it's just difficult to even want to get up and just do anything. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like those very first steps are just like treacherous, because you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to get up and move around again. I'm going to have to actually like do something, and everything hurts. And especially when I move a little bit more, it hurts even more, and it's frustrating because you go in this endless cycle. But I think that you're 100% on the right track, like you said, where you're saying like, you know, I just cut out like simple stuff, you know, just little things here and there, and I feel a bit different. And so as you continue on your journey, you know, and you're just continually doing that, and you have that friend that you can message and keep that up with, I think that, you know, you're definitely going to see a big change, because you're already on that positive side where you're like, hey, like I can make a little bit of a difference here. I can make a little bit of a difference here. You know, I can do this, and gamify it so it's a fun thing for you. Or you call up your girlfriend and you're like, I'm on the bike. Let's go for a little talk.
Gamify it. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that too. Gamify it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you, because it really, you have, because to me, right,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing. It's this weird mental thing. It's self-sabotage. You know what you want to feel like, you know what you need to do to get there, but it's some sort of, I don't know, you push against it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the older you get, unfortunately, the harder it seems.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not like you said, I don't have any self-image that I'm ever going to be a size 8 again,
Mm-hmm.
or anything. And I've been purging like my whole entire dresser. We've been putting wood floors through our whole house.
Yeah.
And so we did the master bedroom. And before we put all the furniture back in there, I dumped every single dresser drawer and went, I haven't worn this in a year, 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
3 years. I've been dropping it off consignment shops and stuff, purging
Yeah.
of, and that's
I
the
like
extra
that.
weight too.
It really is. So everything, like we say, go back to the Osho, how you do one thing in life is how you do everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could literally purge your home, purge your mind, purge all these other things, then you will literally automatically shrink, because you're letting go of what no longer serves you, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that you brought up something really amazing, Brandaleen, is the fact that what we do to our brains, and I'm sure you guys have heard of Mel Robbins. Is that correct? Or a little bit of Mel Robbins. Okay, so she has got this really cool thing. I recommend everybody to check it out. And it's like the 5-second rule or something. And so she was having like the hardest time. She's going through like a divorce within her husband. Her life was just breaking apart. And she's like, you know what? I can't do it. And she's like, I watched this show or something where they saw a rocket get launched out from like into space, and she's like, you know, all they did was they count down and like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she said, I applied that to life, where instead of waiting to get inspired, because inspiration and motivation is crap, complete crap. You're never going to feel inspired to want to do this. And I wish I could tell you it gets easier, but you're never going to feel inspired. It does not come easily, and it is not sustainable. It's not going to be there when you need it. So it's got to just be like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I discipline myself to take action when I do that. And it's not about getting to Z. It's not about I'm going to lose like all this weight to diet. It's about getting to B. And getting to B looks like cutting out bread. Getting to B looks like getting on the elliptical once or twice a week. that is what getting to be looks like, not actually the full thing. Getting to be looks very, very different than getting to Z. And I think that when you break it down into these small chunks and you discipline yourself to take action, not because you feel like it, because you know you need it, you've hit just magic right there. Magic and gold.
Wow, I really like that because on our last call, remember if you guys were on here and Sarah was saying about that count backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And she had posted, Rachel, she just posted it today, Sarah, about something about the chemical makeup of your brain.
That was Mel Robbins.
Yeah, oh, it probably was.
It was.
If you count back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then it makes your brain go opposite and go, okay, I'll do it.
Okay, guys, I'll do it. Exactly. Because our brains are wired for us to stay in our box, right? You know, comfort and complacency. We don't wanna get out there. I don't want to go out there. That's different. You know, what's gonna happen? You start creating all these stories, and then we don't live in the now. And creating that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is really just Mel Robbins taking control of the power of now in one little rule right there. Is just living in the now, living in the present, not letting our brains overtake the system of change, you know, and just letting ourselves actually be propelled forward.
I like that. So this is an interesting question. What does your target client's life look like?
My ideal avatar, you know what? I feel like it's a moving target. And I feel like that happens just because, you know, as I started my company about a year ago. And I think when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm totally going to go for this. This is who I've worked with at gyms and everything like that. And it like completely changed over and over again. And I started working with a group of men for most part that were going through like crazy things in life, which totally shocked me as well. I was like, wow, all right. And it was really like they were going through, like, say they were going through a big job change. They were getting a divorce maybe. They were going through something that just made them feel like they didn't really know who they were at that moment again. And they needed to get some stable grounding in the floor again. And one thing you can do to get some stable grounding in the floor is fitness, because it applies to life. You're like, I know who I am. I can do fitness. I can do this. I'm taking care of myself. I'm the guy that takes care of myself and like make sure that I do what I need to. So it started with that, and I worked with men for quite a while. Right now, actually, is like a slight change. I started a group for fit and healthy, like happy reset for women. And so it's like this 30-day challenge that I'm trying to gamify. And I just took my first group of ladies through it right now. And so those women are people that are just like single mothers. A lot of them are single mothers, or they're mothers in general that just like had gained weight before. And they just didn't know how to really get out of like serving others to being able to serve themselves, and learning how to just be happy, and knowing that like some of them felt like their life was just nothing like what they thought it would turn out to be. You know, they're like, all these things were supposed to happen and like they didn't happen like this. And I need a way out of that. You know, I need a way out of that. I need to fix something. And health is just going crazy for me because it's just spiraling down. And so that was the group of women, but it's always somebody that's just in desperate need of grounding and going through a transition, or feeling like they're just needing to be in control again of something in their life, and taking that first step into health and wellness is just that reset to help them get into a happier mindset. So we not only work on fitness, the nutrition and everything like that, but just really get deeper into the mindset. And
yeah, that's why I also wanted to have you on here too, because it truly is our mindset. You know, something that interests me too is a lot of the stuff I see you doing on social media it's actually like heavier weights.
Yeah. I started competing. Oh my goodness. I started doing, so if you guys get the chance, it's called Olympic weightlifting. It is bonkers. It's so hard, but it's such a fun challenge. And I started doing it just a little while ago and started competing because I'm just the type of person that's like, I think I transformed into this type of person as well. It wasn't something I started off with, where you're just like, okay, I'm going to jump into it. I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to just do what I think I need to do and do it. Right. So I competed, and it was a really fun thing, but it is like lifting heavy weights and putting it over your head and doing all this crazy stuff with it. But it's definitely a lot of fun. And if you guys get a chance, you guys got to look it up, or find me on Instagram, and I'll say hi to you and see what you guys are doing as well. Like how I sneak on Brandaleens.
Yeah. So, and
I'm
that's
going to check that out, definitely, because that's so funny. That what a reminder. Wow, I never even would have thought of that. I had met this woman, oh my gosh, in my early 30s. Trying to think of her last name now. Her name was Rachael, and she was an Olympic bodybuilder. And I used to go to her gym.
No way.
And yeah. And now what you just said, because I've been thinking about maybe getting back into some weights, because I do yoga all the time, and I'm a super stretcher. But oh, thank you.
yeah, and like weights, like I remember weights are really good for you, right?
Oh yeah. They're definitely really good. I think that the more you lift weights and the more you go into that, the faster your metabolism is. Like I explained to all my clients, the way that your metabolism works is like a J shape, right? So you start up here and your metabolism might be a little bit slower because you might not have as much muscle as you did before, especially as we get older. I've noticed it as well. It's just like, okay, I need to work a little bit harder, it feels like here, or a little bit harder there. But once you start adding in some muscles and some weights into it, your metabolism grows bigger, just because your muscle consumes more energy than this fat particles in your body. So that's one way to just trigger your system and your metabolic system to start working a little bit harder, is lifting those weights and getting into the gym and just playing around with that kind of stuff, because it definitely helps.
All right. I like that. So one other question that I really have is that has been like my struggle, right? Is telling yourself that you're not dieting anymore. So because I used to be, ever since I was like in third grade, I've been on a diet.
Yeah. Me too.
my mom put me on a diet. She used to tell me, you have $2,000 a day and you're going to spend them on calories.
Okay.
And so it's almost like that screwed with me my whole life. So if I wasn't on a diet, then I was massively consuming because I'm not on a diet. And then about 5 years ago, I said, I'm never going to diet again. And now I'm still chubby, but you know what? I surely have a whole different outlook on myself, on my body. So how did you get over that? I'm being good, I'm being bad, like this weird shit that goes on in your head.
Yeah. Okay. So biggest thing that I always tell everybody, there's no such thing as good or bad. It's just, it is what it is, And so I can totally relate to you, because my mom, she was super, super skinny growing up, and she saw me, this little chunky monkey, and she's like, oh my gosh, I need to put her on a diet, right? And she would give me stuff all the time, like, you're too big, you look, you're not looking good, you're looking bigger, you're looking like you're not getting healthy, you need to stop eating. If I ever ate, she'd like give me that look. And it's like that crap that your parents put into your head, where, you get kind of disturbed, I guess, in a way. And like, oh my gosh, if I'm not eating right, like maybe my mom doesn't love me as much. And it goes into a love.
100%.
Yeah. So the problem really is never about like good or bad, whether you think of food in a good or bad way, anything like that. It's really, truly more about love. And if you can find a way to say, like, no matter how heavy I am, I still love myself. And one of the ways that I love myself is understanding how to nourish myself. It's not about whether I'm eating good food or bad food, because Lord knows I ate a hamburger last night and I didn't feel bad about it, because I still am nourishing myself. I still know how to nourish myself. And that wasn't something bad. That was something good, because I got food and I needed energy. you know? And so the less you can think about food as either good nor bad, but as either nourishment and self-love, the easier it gets, because then you're not dieting. You're not even counting calories. You're just trying to say, like, I'm loving myself in the best way that I know possible. Just like if you had a puppy and you were like, how am I supposed to take care of this puppy? You know, it's not like you give them like, okay, well, I think that this or that, and this food, that food. You just give them what you think that they actually need, so that they're going to live and be a healthy puppy for the rest of their life. And that's how you love them. That's one way how you love them. So it's just turning that all right back on ourselves, and just showing us our own love. Because no matter what, like, I can guarantee you all, that third thing that keeps me in that now, that you have so much more love than you even realize, goes back to, it doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter if you're super, super skinny or super, super big. Nobody cares. They're going to love you regardless. And you get to love yourself in a new way now, which is learning how to eat.
Perfect example. It's not good or bad. It's just nourishment.
Exactly.
Right?
It's just nourishment.
You guys have more questions for Rachael?
I just wanted to say that my biggest lesson has been, I gained a bunch of weight in the last 10 to 15 years, and it's mostly due to stress, like extreme stress. And the last year I've realized that it's basically doesn't have to do with weight. It's how I feel about myself and my internal struggle in my brain. And it then evolved into constantly thinking about what I'm eating, how much I'm eating. Should I eat this? Maybe I'll do this diet, buy this cookbook. And it was just like this obsession. And it also was constant judging, never feeling good about myself, constantly beating myself up. And this last year, I've learned to not do that. I'm not dieting. I'm not judging myself. I'm not getting on a scale at all. And it's been really freeing, you know. And right now we're turning our formal living room into my office, my art room, and then we've got a treadmill and a stationary bike we're setting up. So, you know, we're going to have that to work on, but it's been just a completely different frame of mind. And it's been much more pleasurable.
Yeah.
That I agree. That's what I'm saying. Over the last 5 years, I've had a whole different body image.
Yeah, it's like I
I
don't care what anybody thinks of me now. I could care less. It's what I think about me.
Right. And I think for me, when I told myself I'm never going to go on a diet again, it made me stop like the binging part.
Yeah,
Because it was like if I'm not on a diet, that means mass consumption, people, like sabotage.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, you're never going to be on one. So then you could not, you
Right.
don't need that mass. You don't need like to shove this stuff down your throat before you go on this diet. It was like being on restriction and being free. It was like, it's such a freaking mental game, right?
That's exactly what I did. Exactly.
That's amazing. I mean, for you to overcome that after years is like not a small feat. And I know it takes so much to get rid of that like just turmoil that you're putting on yourself every single day. And that just like keeps everything on, because you're always like, oh my gosh. And that's why affirmations, if you guys haven't done it, listen to some healthy affirmations every morning, because you're in our head. My head used to tell myself every single morning I'd wake up, I need to work harder because I'm not where I need to be. I don't look the way I want to look. I'm not this. I'm not that. I'd say that every single morning. So guess what? I wasn't. You got to keep saying to yourself the things that you really want. I am healthy. I am the weight that I want to be. I'm strong. I'm going to be able to get there. I work out every single week. I eat healthy. You got to say that to yourself every single day, instead of the things like, I eat terrible. I hate dieting, all this stuff. The things you tell yourself is what happens throughout the day completely. So daily affirmations, I'll send you guys one. Actually, I'll put one in the group, because I think it's really going to help. If you can listen to that every single morning, get into the habit of that, I guarantee it's just going to greatly enhance your life, the way that the quality of your life will be, and the ability that you have, and the feeling that you have confidence to get this really done is going to just dramatically change.
That would be awesome. We would love that.
Awesome.
So in the back of your mind, do you have like a challenge for us? Like, I love to give them a challenge. Like, is there a challenge, like drink more water or take magnesium, or the affirmation was great, but is there anything else that you tell like your brand new client?
Yeah. Oh, did you have something to say also, Allison, really quickly right before?
I was going to ask about vitamins, because I realized I think I was like taking one too many weird vitamins. So I like weaned myself off of all weird vitamins except vitamin D and vitamin E.
Okay.
Those are the only two I didn't stop taking.
Okay, that's totally fine. I think that usually vitamins are generally, you don't need to mess with them too much unless something really is going wrong. Like you're like, okay, I am getting some serious problems here. Something's got to be off. The trick that I have with vitamins or any type of supplement is that you should feel it within 24 hours, a big change. If you don't, the vitamin might not be doing that much. So that's a huge cue. Vitamins, they respond quick, man, and you will feel it. So if you don't feel it within a relevant amount of time, 48 to 24 hours, they're probably not doing that much. Most trainers are going to recommend everybody to take a multivitamin, because food, when it's grown now, because it's in mass production, does not have as many minerals as it did before when it was grown naturally. So they always recommend taking multivitamins. I always agree with them. Just good to have like okay, I'll just put them all in and hopefully it hits everything. So multivitamins are really good. But yeah, unless something's going super, super crazy within your body, you don't need to worry too much with vitamins. Of course, if your doctor recommends something, listen to that as well. But you should feel a dramatic change once you do start taking them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so challenge. Here we go. So yeah, so the first thing I want to challenge you ladies is with listening to daily affirmations every single morning. I'll send you guys one, but please feel free to look at your own. And the second challenge that is actually going to be kind of a play off of the affirmations is I'm going to put a link of an app in there, and it's where you get to create your own affirmations. So first step is, right, we're not going from A to Z, we're going from A to B, and A to B is just listening to affirmations, and then A to C will be creating your own affirmations. So that will be the challenge for this month, is for you ladies to, by the end of this month, within 30 days, have your own affirmations of how you're going to be beautiful, you're going to be healthy, you are just overachievers, and in every way the most lovable person ever. Whatever your affirmations are, I want you to be able to create your own and have your own little trick in the pocket of how to keep yourself mentally and physically, emotionally strong and healthy throughout the rest of your lives.
Beautiful. Yay!
Awesome.
Oh my gosh. And then, so please share with us and the people that are going to be watching the replay, how do we get a hold of you? Where are you at?
Awesome. So if you ever want to get a hold of me, best way is through social media. I am always on there. So you can always reach me on Instagram, which is how we connected. So that's _movement. If you also want to just search me up, it's super easy. I'm the one and only Rachael Takesaka. So that's RACHAEL TAKESAKA. Wherever you find me, add me, reach out. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to hear you out. Like I said, I was building that 30-day reset health and happiness program, and I do need more people to try it out for me so that when I release it to the public, actually, it's super fun and it's super helpful because I'm still building it. It's still a rough draft. So if anybody wants to try that out, I'm still doing trials right now. So I'd love for anybody to just jump in and be like, I'm ready for round 2 because I need that help. So.
Awesome. Will you share the link to that in our group?
I definitely will.
Oh, thank you.
I'm so grateful for you to take the time today to give us our little training, and your vibrations off the chain, and I love watching you. I don't even know how we ended up following each other, but I'm like, this girl, she's just so petite and she's strong, she's lifting these things. I'm like, and I think what it was too is you do those strange, like, well, not that it's strange, but you do these neat like poses and stuff in your body, and I'm like, if I was that's like, I'm 5'3", I'm like, I want to look like that girl, right? So that's probably why I'm following
I know,
you.
I love it. I know. You have no idea what it goes into taking those pictures. I'm like, all right, maybe I'll put a leg over my head this way, and does that look okay, guys?
It's cute. So yay, I'm so glad you came here for us to do this. And yeah, share those links. And anybody have any more questions?
No, I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. It was a pleasure. It was such a pleasure, ladies. I mean, I loved spending time with you, and I just love giving back in this way because, really we're all in this together, and like we're all just like in this group together. We're all just working towards the same thing, and whatever I can do to make somebody else happier, smile, whatever that may be, I'll always do that. So I appreciate you all for coming together as well and welcoming me into this group.
Yay! All right.
Thank you.
Well, you ladies have a beautiful evening, and I'll post the replay to this in our group because I know there was a couple of people that would really wanted to be here, and they couldn't make it happen. So,
yeah. And I'll post the links in that comments of the replay as well, just so they have it all in one place.
Okay, that would be great. Or post it both places. That would be great too.
Awesome. Okay, I will.
All right, ladies, you have a beautiful evening, and thank you all again for being here. I really am grateful for you guys sharing space with each other, and yeah.